Yeah! Hello and welcome to this DEF CON 2v2 Warno casted game. This is the DEF CON 2v2 Warno tournament. And these are the qualifying stages. I want to try and cover every game from this tournament. I'm not sure how feasible that's going to be given the sheer quantity of games, but I'll do my best to cover at least most of them. And yeah, there's a prize pool for this tournament and everything. $50 have been given by me, and that is the money that you give me. I give to these wonderful people. Of course, I'm going to win. I'm also in the tournament, so I'll get that money back, no problem. So today we're in a match between Wendigo Powered Polish Train, which consists of the Slavia brothers. There are two guys called Slavia, and turns out they're brothers, and they're playing the VDV 56Y and the VDV 35Y, so they're definitely playing brotherly divisions, I suppose. And I could have sworn this was NATO versus Pact every time, but I guess I was wrong, because their opponents have also chosen to play Pact, and they're playing the two worst divisions in the game. Their team is called a Blowpipe a day. 119Y is not so bad, but 6Y definitely not that great. Yeah, Beast is playing 6Y, which is really not a good div. And CommanderNathan is playing 119Y. We're on cRipple, or cRipple as it's affectionately called, a map where you need to spread out and have stuff everywhere, which neither of these divisions are particularly good at. So I don't know the result. I haven't seen it. Basically, there's a way you can get all the replays in the YS Discord, and it's spoiled, so you don't actually see the result. So I don't know who wins. Let's go through the deployments. So starting with blue team, a Blowpipe a day. So we got CommanderNathan on the left here, and he's opening lots of Spetsnaz. So we got some anti-tank Spetsnaz going to here, this forest. That's a very, very mild deployment, given you've got forward deployment. He's just going to there. I mean, you could probably get a bit further. And then regular Spetsnaz going to this forest, and Spetsnaz Gru going to that back building. I mean, presumably it's going to move up to the front building eventually, take advantage of that recon. Behind that, you got his main attacking force consisting of two Saperi RPOs, which are going to the forest on the left, a Tunguska, and a T-80 BVK command tank. So, yeah, he wants to cap that. And he's got us... Okay. And in mid, he's got Spetsnaz OP, which stands for Original Pancake, and they've got a pretty juicy rocket launcher. He had some over here as well. Regular Spetsnaz and Spetsnaz Gru, and they're all taking a very conservative deployment. He could get here, but I know that he knows that he's against 35Y, who will also get here at the same time. So they're playing it nice and slow. And one supply for these guys, who yeah, they've been deployed really quite conservatively. And Beast, long line Warcram, I'm just going to be calling Beast from now on. He is going for mid, so he's got some Spetsgrupper A. He is the 6YA player. This is a really good squad, because it's 10 men, and it's got satchels and the sniper. The sniper's basically just a machine gun, just see it as a machine gun. But it's very good in close quarters. But at medium range, it kind of loses because the Scorpions don't really fire, but in close quarters, it's really good. They've got 3,240 rounds in those Scorpions. That's a lot of rounds. That's about 300 rounds each, which is, what, 10 30-round magazines? Nice! That's what Special Forces is all about. So they're going to Foxtrot, and behind them is a motorized Avpera in a Recon BMP-1, which you don't usually see. So the Malyutka can be used, because it's got mediocre stealth. You could sort of use it like an ATGM vehicle, but I mean, like, so this thing is 10 points more, and it's just way better, and it's got the better stealth. So it's not very good for the price. We've got another motorized Avpera going to Alpha, so basically blue will have an easier time in India and red will have an easier time in Alpha. The reason why is that if you put a recon unit here, you can see all of Alpha. And if you put a recon unit here, you can see all of Alpha. And if you put a recon unit here, you can't see all of Alpha. I mean, you can see most of it, but you can still hide the CV back here, you see? Whereas here, there's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide. If so the enemy just puts a Recon Bradley or whatever here, and you just own the zone. It was a bit silly. That's why they call it cRipple. But yeah, so he's got Enigla going to the right. Conquer's going to the right. 2 Saperi going to mid, so he is going mid. Saperi going to this forest. 2 Pulmachiki and BMP ones. It's quite rare to see that, but fair enough. Because this is 40 points, but the advantage of the bundle of sticks, the name of which I can't pronounce because I keep getting demonetized and I like money, is that it one-shots any 3 armored IFV in the game. Such as BMDs have 2. If he actually brought a... has he got any BMPs? I'm pretty sure 56 might get BMPs. I don't see it. Anyway, so he's going ham on mid. He's got the Saperis, he's got the T64 BV, which is sort of like a T80 BV. They're all like stack clones of each other now, except it's slower. And Tunguska and the Book. No supply for the Book, which is a shame. He's also bought a fob, which is very useful in these longer games. Particularly if you're going to be running lots of Rocket RT. And I'm not sure if 6Y gets Rocket RT. 119Y does. Gets the Burrito, which you just can never afford. And the CV car for Charlie, Delta, Bravo. I'm not sure why he's passing it to Bravo when the... Is the tank a CV? No, it's not. Okay. So there's only... Right, okay, so 2 CVs. Switching to their opponent's deployment, we got Slavia. So Slavia on the left here. He's just going straight for Bravo with 2 BMD2s. Desant Razvedka. And then, yeah, forward deployed Spetsnaz GRU Stinger teams with really good RPGs and grenade launcher vehicles. 4 of them. So it's going to be very difficult for them to use air, especially in this area. And behind that, is it the same? No, so okay, so they're sharing their units basically, so that they've got a strat between them, which is, that's how people win. So if you recall in the last DEF CON 2 tournament, me and T-Man got so far, we ended up coming 4th. And that's because we didn't really have a strategy. We were just like, let's just play. And if we'd had a strategy, I think we would have come 2nd at least. So behind that, we got a massive helo attack. So a descent bundle of sticks here. Rocket, Heinz with RPG-7s. MI-24 transports with Afghansky, which are really good town fighting infantry because they've got the submachine guns and the RPOs there, and 2 MGs. You can basically see an MG like 2 rifles. So these men fight with the strength of 10 men, despite being 8 men. 3 AA helos, okay. So it's all about the helos, and I don't see. I mean, there's 1 Tunguska, but well, okay, 2 Tunguskas and a Book, but I don't think the Tunguska's going to get there in time. We'll find out. I haven't watched it. Forward deployed CV, tank CV going to Foxtrot, more guys for Foxtrot. Right, so they're just abandoning India. There's 1 BMP2 just putting a guide there and going there. They just want to defend. They're abandoning India, and the plan is to attack Bravo. So we will see how a Blowpipe a day reacts to this situation. We'll cast the game, and I'll do it from this perspective because these guys have the funniest strat. Right, so they're off. There was also a plane. And I'd like to take the time to thank the generous channel joiners. They get their names on the screen, they get their videos early, they get exclusive videos, and they make it so that I can give $50 to this tournament. And I don't really have to worry so much about views. The Book does fire, but it misses the ML. So they're bankrolling the channel. If you want to see more tournament games, do let me know. And, you know, if you don't want to pay money, that's fine. I do like money. But yeah, just like the videos, just leave a comment. It's free, takes 5 seconds. If you can't think of anything to say, just type GG. And basically the reason I ask for that is that then YouTube will recommend this video to more people. So yeah, as predicted, the Tunguska has really not made it in time. And this Spetsgrupper should now see that, and he should just unload here. He has noticed. Great, so he needs to get into a building. He needs to get into a building. He didn't get into a building. He just unloaded, he didn't get into a building. Su-27's purchased, and it's going to go in on that MiG. It should win handedly, but the power of RNG makes it evac, and that's really bad. Even though the book killed the MiG, the fact that this is evac means that was 1 minute's income from CommanderNathan, which now isn't killing all these helicopters. So that CV ended up keeping its pathing and just going up there and dying. And what Nathan really needs to do now is push this whole zone, make sure it's secured, and then get, start moving his guys. Because he's just sort of left them, and he should recognise, well, there's a lot of units here. My mate's dying. And this is where the lack of supply for the book comes in. So it's really interesting how he's just fast-pathing it there instead of attack moving it. That means the missiles can't fire, but he just wanted to get some ground on. And to be honest, Beast is doing alright at stopping this. This thing really needs to get behind something. But yeah, Nathan needs to react. He needs to secure Delta for starters with his CV. He just needs to get that right down there and get that shooting. And help out his teammate, because right now it really is something of a 1v2. So Beast has now brought all the cheap bombers out, so they're reasonably useful, particularly when your opponent only has AA, like 4 HE AA, although there are 5 of them. So this will get some cheap bombs off, but the problem is that they didn't buy any more infantry, which they really should have done. So now there's no infantry here to contest this, and there's none on the way. There's 1 Marshals in between them. So poor purchases here, and Nathan's like still buying for India. Why? There's nobody there. He's in this building. He knows there's nobody there. He knows what he's... So this is where the teamwork comes in. You can't just focus on your lane. It's not a pub game. It's a tournament game. And there you go. That's the issue with using the planes. They just died to the Stingers. So that's a lack of divisional knowledge. I know I said it was a good purchase to buy the planes. It kind of wasn't. But yeah, he needs to buy a supply for the book. The recon is an idea, but I don't know about these Stingers. They should just be able to hit it. There is a church here, which for some reason the Slavia brothers haven't located. They should really put the Stingers in there, and then this will die immediately. But it looks like the LOS will get them anyway. This only has 4 HP. They're out of rounds, so could use some supply. The Grozovi is decent, but you can't move it up because of the Tunguska, so you need wheeled supply. Here we go. So Nathan's realised now he's clocked on, and he's fast-pathed his guys to Delta. And hopefully these guys are going over there as well. +4 to the Slavia brothers, 10 minutes till victory. And there needed to be a CV for Alpha too, given that the Slavia guys didn't have anything there. But yeah, this really needs to be capped, as does this, or at least contested. Of course, it's quite a hard one to contest. This thing isn't doing anything. Like, he should have it here so that he can shoot these people. It's not doing anything where it is, and he can see these people because of this motorized Avkehler. Or even here, shooting these people coming in. It's just a waste of a unit if it's not shooting. And yeah, Nathan should not have bought all these units for this zone. He already owns the zone. Obviously, he sees more than us. And now he's bought a T-80 UD, which it's like, okay, so that's his division. But that doesn't help you in this situation. You need lots of firepower, and his div doesn't really get that. Lots of DPS, they don't get that because the T-80 UD is so expensive. But you can buy TO-55s and get them here, or you can just buy infantry and let your teammate buy the firepower, which can even come in the form of BTR-60s or something. So the Hilo Blob has now been moved over here, and that should just be able to kill everything if they're microing it properly. Good teamwork, like they've recognized that, although one part they're missing is a recon Hilo. Not sure about the Sneed, although I guess that's for the book, but it takes out the Tunguska, which is really big. It's a really big problem. And we've got more, so just a bunch of ATGM squads here moving into the town. He's still not, okay, so he has finally realised there's a church there. But yeah, he should really be putting the recon in there so he can see things coming in. The Sneed will not shoot at the Buck because the Buck's out of ammo and there's no supply for it. Beast buying an artillery piece, a tube arty for the... I mean, I can sort of understand why. But you really, for starters, you shouldn't be buying two. And really what you need in this situation is MLRS. And I can't remember if these divs get grads. But yeah, it's looking really totally not good for blue team. So another SU's been bought, and he's bought the LGBT, and it's like he's killing that. But there's no zones over here. Unless he intends to get down to hotel, which, to be honest, he should have done. He should have done that, actually, yeah. Recon healer over here, spot that. These guys should have already been there. Spot that, snipe it with the LGB if you really want, and then drag all these guys into their transports and get them in hotel. But, yeah. I'm not so sure about these SU purchases. It's like 1 minute, 2 minutes income just on those now, and another minute on the LGB. LGB is probably a good idea. I was a bit unlucky from the T64, and they've actually managed to take the zone. So that artillery paid for itself because he killed him, but there's still a +2 because of mid. So the T80UD is, you know, it's here, but it can't really do anything. I mean, he could bring it up with this and do stuff with it. But it's difficult to use by itself. You need combined arms with it. And really, Nathan really needs to push hotel. And then, you know, you could even try and get golf. Obviously, you got to watch out for all the helicopters and stuff, and he doesn't have any AA there, so he's got the Tunguska. But you know, like, why are all these here? They're not... There's nobody here. There's nobody here, apart from this, which he doesn't see. So, yeah, when the enemy takes one of your zones like this, you really got to think about it. Man, I got to take some of his zones, because usually if they're all up here, they're not over here. So there you go. So he's twigged it now. He's twigged it. He's like, oh, okay, there's nobody here. So just box select all these, right click one of the transports, box select all of them, get these loaded up. But instead, he's just holding, and if all these units were brought to bear, they'd take hotel, and then that would be a plus nothing to, because, you know, that would be a 2-point swing, and then that would be a plus nothing to Slavia. So, it's a shame. Sometimes when the game goes retard, you gotta go full retard, you know. This guy's out in a world of hurt. What you can do with your howitzers that you've spent all this money on is smoke this, and then you can have that in there without it dying. But yeah, Beast's div, I mean, it doesn't get a lot of infantry. It gets like Motschutsen, which are good, and Pomachiki, but yeah, that's really not fantastic. So this is going to drive in there now, and then it's going to be a +4. Bucks back up, misses the Sneed, and yeah, if you switch off the gun, you can still fire the missiles. So the LGBT gets its things back pretty quickly, but he really needs to... Right, so yeah, he's realised now, or he's realising. The Buck did actually hit the Sneed, but it died. So that's really not fantastic. And they need to stop buying arty. They're not even using the arty they've got. If they're going to buy any arty, it needs to be MLRS, because that's how you get all these guys out of this town. But they just need loads of infantry, and you know, so you could, 119Y can supply the tanks, get the TO55s, like all of them, and then just try and force your way back in here. But, you know, the Slavia guys, they've made their play, and now all they have to do is just sit there and reinforce, which they're doing perfectly. So Nathan has revealed his plan now, so he really needs to get all the infantry in. I'm not sure where all the transports went. No, there's still BTR-60 here and so on, so yeah, but now they know, right? So as soon as you reveal, they know. So you got to go fast. Whereas now, by the time he gets there, this is going to be looking at him, and he didn't bother bringing the AA or any of the infantry that was there. Just this guy. And so that's not going to go so well. I think 21 Bison Cluster is very powerful, but very expensive and dies very easily. And it does get the CV, so that was good. So what you need to do now is smoke this and rush that CV in. And then you will own the zone. But I mean, these guys will blur all backup CVs, because they are not foolish. So that SU's back up, and this thing is going to die now, because the machine guns on this are going to kill it. Oh no, he right-clicked it. What's he doing? he's just wasting time. And the next thing you need to do is with this artillery, which is Nathan's, he needs to unload that and smoke the corner of this so that he can get the tank in. And like this, he's unloading that there. That should have been passed down here. I mean, he's lost the initiative now, basically. Now there's going to be lots of units here, and he hasn't put the smoke down, so he's going to get hit. Gvozdikas, because 56Y gets Gvozdikas. LGBT's out. He hasn't evac'd it immediately, so it's going to eat a bunch of AA missiles now. It gets reasonably lucky there, considering the amount that were fired at it. And yeah, this guy really needs to smoke up and then get the supply over there so he can keep smoking himself if you're not going to... Oh, okay, so he's done that. I mean, he sort of smoked the wrong place, but yeah. Another helo rush here. This Tunguska's really going to do a number on this, but there's just so much of it. They're so far behind the blue players. They've taken so many bad trades at this point. So many of their units aren't in use. Yeah, you got to watch out for that. And yeah, he was smoking the wrong place. So yeah, eventually it just gets... I mean, this is like 10 times the cost of that Tunguska. And then now there's an Mi-24P around the back, which is going to snipe this RT, which isn't being used anyway. There you go. So the T-80s and stuff have been purchased, and they are doing things. This is a good recon position. So these rocket planes will probably die to that tank, rocket helos, but that will probably summon an LGBT. He did manage to cap this zone, but, you know, not for long. Like, these guys look like they're all just unloading in there. Yeah. So the Mi-24P got caught out. It just got shot by some reinforcements. It didn't actually get the giant synth thing. So Su-27 is now doing things. And it's got a lot of short-range anti-helicopter missiles, so it can stay up for quite a while and keep hitting them. It's out of guns, but, you know. The command died there. I'm not sure what killed it. It might have been, like, this should really have been there a long time ago. So the helos are going down, right? But Slavia are just trying to buy time. That's all they care about. So the tick has now stopped, but for how long? Because this man didn't reverse, and now he's just going to die to RPGs. They've bought too much RT. Like, look, they're not even using it. Don't buy RT you don't use. If you buy RT and you're not using it constantly, then it's a waste of points, basically. And yeah, so this is sort of worked, but he needed the Tunguska with it, and he's just left it there. Like, if the Tunguska was with this, he wouldn't be able to LGBT all these tanks. Which is what's happening. Although Slavia messed up the targeting a bit there, so that they'll live to fight for a few more seconds before they explode. Like, imagine if there was a Tunguska in this block. They wouldn't be able to just bully them with planes. So there goes another 320 points. Okay, never mind, he messed it up, so he missed. If you're not going to fire your arty, just put it on fire at will. And, yeah, so there goes that zone. Right, so now he sent these, but he's still not sent the AA. And this will now go down because it's not got any AA. So it's very sad, you know. But yeah, Slavia's got all these guys here, but no command, because he wants to send that there, but he doesn't know what's here, right? So +1 for Slavia and co. Slavia and Slavia. Slavia bros. I think the trades are starting to be a bit better for blue now, but red is literally just trying to buy time. Like, Slavia bought these... For starters, they bought the bad grads. You don't want those, you want the good ones. So the reason they're not doing anything is because they're reloading. Yeah, it's a really funny game. I mean, it's pretty good. So he's trying to get over there, but it's difficult. And he's got to be careful because of all the Strellas. And yeah, so they've got a command tank. You know, just smoke it up with all the arty you bought. But don't, you know, if you've got two, you smoke in front of them a bit. So that you don't get LGBT'd, or you smoke a big area so you don't get LGBT'd. Su-27 flies back over all these Strellas and goes down there. And yeah, it's a really interesting situation when red just owns both these zones but doesn't actually own them. But yeah, so they've taken that, so that'll put them on a +4 now, and then they'll eventually get this. These marauding T80 UDs. Eventually that's going to get side shot by something. Yeah, like this guy. And now it's low cohesion, and now it's getting shot by... Yeah, so this is not going to make it, because you can't, you know... even... Well, okay, that missed, but... Alright. Another SU-27 out. Half grants are firing on the tanks. LGBT goes down because he flew over all the stingers. Some of the arties firing. Do they not get rocket arty? I honestly can't remember. Yeah, it's looking pretty Jova to me. So let's recap what could have happened differently there. The blue players, once they realised where the attack was coming, this blue player should have started buying for this. You know, maybe buy a little for this so that you can send it all down here and take hotel. But yeah, the blue player was quite slow to react, and then they bought way too much artillery. Well, way too much artillery. So that's a shame. And the MiG-31 is good against planes from long distances, but once they get into range, you tend to die. So that Tunguska got that, which is cool, but now it's going to be plus more. +4 soon. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? The divisional choices for blue were quite memey. They picked very uncompetitive divisions, particularly for this map. This map you need cheap units that can spread out, and both of these divs are like heavy tank divs. So, and both of them are quite weak divs. So yeah, you know, Slavia, as they say. Good play from Slavia, and then there was quite a few things I did like from Nathan and Beast. Like Beast did a pretty decent job of getting back in here actually and sniping the CV and all that, and Nathan did a good job of getting in hotel eventually. But yeah, just better coordination from the Slavia guys, and we'll see how much they play in some seconds. I'm just going to speed it up here because, you know, there's no point waiting 20 seconds. This is very over. Said what I wanted to say. So GG to both teams, and apparently I'm a winner. These are best of 1 qualifiers. So this Slavia has played 669 games, 31 this season. This Slavia is me because of a bug that's been in the game since launch that they have bothered to fix. CommanderNathan has had, oh, okay, quite a lot of ranked games, but he's quite lowly rated. He's not had that many total games. And Beast has had a few ranked games, but not that many games. So, you know, this guy and this guy put together have had less games than this guy. Or, you know, roughly, sort of. So, just because it's the qualifiers, you do get matches like this. But yeah, good play from both teams, and what I thought was quite an entertaining match. Please do let me know what you think. I want to cover as many games as I can out of this tournament, and like I said, you know, your support makes it possible. If you want to donate directly to the prize pool, you can. If you want to donate to me, you can. And I'll see you in the next one.